Level 1. The Script Kiddie. You are 15 years old. You are invisible at high school. You have no friends. You stutter when you talk to the cashier at the grocery store. But online, you are starting to understand that the rules are completely different. You download a specialized browser called Tor. You learn that it stands for the Onion Router. It was originally developed in the 1990s by the United States Naval Research Laboratory to protect government communications. Now, you use it to hide from them. The browser routes your connection through a random path of encrypted servers, known as nodes. It bounces your IP address across the globe until you are completely anonymous. You visit your first dark web forum. The URLs don't look normal. They don't end in .com. They are long strings of random letters and numbers ending in .onion. The sites look plain, minimal text, and no images because they are built for speed and anonymity over design. You don't know how to code yet. You are just a kid playing with loaded weapons that someone else built. You find a marketplace. You buy a DDoS for hire service. It costs you exactly $20. You point it at the IP address of a kid who insulted you in an online game. Within seconds, his router is flooded with junk traffic from a network of compromised devices. His connection drops dead. The power rushes through your veins like a drug. You didn't throw a punch. You didn't even leave your bedroom. But you destroyed his night. You realize the internet is not a library. It is a battlefield. And you just bought your first gun. Level 2, the Harvester. You are 18. You drop out of community college. Sitting in a classroom listening to a professor feels like a joke. You have leveled up from ruining video games. You are now in the business of harvesting human mistakes. You buy ready-made phishing kits on dark web forums. They cost anywhere between $10 and $300. These kits contain perfect replicas of banking login pages and corporate email portals. You buy massive lists of email addresses and blast out tens of thousands of fake security alerts. Urgent, your account has been compromised. Please log in to verify your identity. 99% of people delete the email, but the 1% who click are all you need. You sit in the dark, watching your server logs fill up with raw data, usernames, passwords, security questions, mother's maiden names. You don't hack their bank accounts directly. That leaves a trace. Instead, you package this stolen data and sell it on illicit marketplaces. You learn the market rates. A single corporate email login sells for about $5, but a full set of identity documents, including a passport, driver's license, and social security number, can fetch up to $1,500. You are making $3,000 a week. You buy a high-end gaming PC. You buy a used Mustang. You pay entirely in cash. You tell yourself you are just exploiting stupid people. You convince yourself it is a victimless crime. But somewhere, a single mother is crying on the phone with her bank. Her entire checking account was drained, using the password you sold. You turn off your monitor, and you try not to think about her. Level 3, the auto shop vendor. You are 22. You realize that selling data manually on forums is too slow. The real money is in automation. You become a registered vendor on a dark web auto shop. These are specialized marketplaces that automate the sale of digital products. Financial data, login credentials, remote access, and cookies. There is little to no contact with the buyers. You set up your shop on Brian's Club, one of the oldest auto shops on the dark web, active since 2014. You don't just sell passwords anymore. You sell logs. Data extracted directly from a victim's web browser, containing their active session cookies and autofill form data. You also sell full stolen credit card details, packaged with the victim's date of birth and social security number. Your script runs 24 hours a day, infecting thousands of computers, extracting their digital lives, and uploading them to your auto shop inventory. You check your dashboard every morning while drinking coffee. You watch the cryptocurrency roll into your wallets. You read the statistics. You realize that over 24 billion stolen credentials were circulating on the dark web in 2023. You are a massive part of that machine. You know the risks. You disable ActiveX and Java in your network settings because they are notorious for being probed and exploited by rival hackers. You use a secondary, non-admin local user account on your computer because most malware requires administrative privileges to execute. You detach your online persona from real life. Your real name, email, and credit cards are never used in this world. You are making $20,000 a month. Your digital wallet is heavy, but your real life is shrinking. You constantly check the rearview mirror when you drive. The paranoia is starting to set in. Level 4, the initial access broker. You are 26. The auto shops are profitable, but you want the massive payouts. You pivot to hunting corporations. You become an initial access broker. You don't want the data of normal people anymore. You want the keys to the castle. You spend your nights scanning the surface web for vulnerable enterprise networks. You look for companies that failed to conduct regular cybersecurity risk assessments or neglected to implement multi-factor authentication. You find a mid-sized healthcare provider. They have an unpatched remote desktop protocol port exposed to the internet. You slip inside their network. You escalate your privileges. You secure an administrative foothold. You have complete access to patient records, financial databases, and internal communications. You could destroy them right now, but you don't. You are a professional. You take screenshots to prove you have access. You post a listing on an escrow marketplace, the dark web equivalent of Amazon or eBay, where anyone with enough cash to pay the vendor bond can sign up and start selling. Access to U.S. healthcare network, 500 million revenue, full admin rights, price $15,000 in Bitcoin. A buyer contacts you within hours. You transfer the digital keys. The cryptocurrency hits your escrow account. 3 weeks later, you see the healthcare provider on the news. They have been hit by a devastating cyber attack. Ambulances are being diverted. Surgeries are canceled. People are in critical danger because the network is down. You didn't deploy the virus. You just left the back door open for the monster. You tell yourself you aren't responsible for what the buyer did, but the guilt is a heavy, physical weight in your chest. You drink half a bottle of whiskey to fall asleep that night. Level 5, the ransomware affiliate. You are 30. You are tired of being the middleman. You want the multi-million-dollar scores. You join a ransomware as a service syndicate known as RAS. These groups operate like legitimate software companies. They build the encryption payload. Your job is to break into corporate networks and deploy it. These ransomware kits cost anywhere from $50 to $5,000. You infiltrate a massive logistics company. You spend weeks silently mapping their network, locating their backup servers, poisoning them so the company cannot restore their data. When the trap is fully set, you execute the payload. At 2 a.m. on a Sunday, every single computer monitor in their headquarters turns black. Then it displays a blood-red countdown timer. Pay $3 million in Bitcoin within 72 hours, or your files will be permanently encrypted. You don't just lock their files. You engage in double extortion. You monitor the syndicate's dedicated ransomware leak site. These are publicity sites where ransomware groups share the details of their latest victims. You use the platform to shame them, apply pressure, and threaten to leak their sensitive data to the public if they refuse to pay. You watch the company's stock price plummet. Finally, on the second day, they cave. They transfer $3 million. You get your 80% cut. You tumble the Bitcoin through thousands of microtransactions to break the blockchain tracing. You are officially a millionaire. You move into a luxury penthouse. You buy a massive safe and fill it with cold storage crypto wallets. You have won the game. But you have never felt more trapped. You tape over every webcam in your apartment. You use throwaway laptops and destroy them with a hammer every 30 days. The FBI is actively hunting you. Your face a blank avatar, but your digital fingerprint is a glowing beacon. Level 6, the zero-day developer. You are Thrive 5. Extortion is getting too loud, too messy. International task forces are cracking down. You pivot to the most elite tier of the hacking world. You become an exploit developer. You search for zero-day exploits. These are previously unknown vulnerabilities in software that vendors do not know about yet and cannot patch. They are the most expensive commodities on the dark web, often selling for tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars because they can completely bypass modern security defenses. You spend 9 months reverse engineering the kernel of a globally popular smartphone operating system. You barely sleep. Your eyes are bloodshot. Your diet is caffeine and takeout food. But you find it. A remote code execution vulnerability that allows an attacker to take complete control of a phone just by sending a silent text message. You don't sell this on a public forum. You arrange a meeting through heavily encrypted channels. You fly to a neutral country. You sit in a hotel room with a man in a tailored suit who claims to represent a private intelligence firm. You know exactly who he really represents, a nation-state government. He hands you a digital token, verifying a transfer of $250,000. You hand him a flash drive containing the code. You know what they will use it for. They will use it to spy on journalists, political dissidents, and rival governments. You are no longer a criminal. You are a digital arms dealer operating in the shadows of global geopolitics. Your code could start a war. You fly back home, and you realize you can never tell a single human being what you do for a living. The isolation is absolute. Level 7, the market administrator. You are 40. You have more money than you could spend in 3 lifetimes. But the addiction to the dark web is terminal. You don't just participate in the market anymore. You build the market. You launch your own escrow marketplace, a massive dark web hub that connects thousands of buyers and sellers, trading in stolen data, malware, and illicit goods. You are the architect of the underworld. You take a 5% commission on every single transaction that flows through your servers. Your daily life is absolute chaos. You are constantly fighting off massive DDoS attacks from rival marketplaces, trying to knock your servers offline. You are constantly rewriting code and rotating servers to evade law enforcement detection. You sleep in 2-hour shifts. You manage moderators whom you pay in cryptocurrency but have never met in real life. You know that any one of them could be an undercover federal agent. You are a king, but your kingdom is built on quicksand. You read the news. You see other platforms like the Genesis market getting seized. Genesis was a massive marketplace that specialized in browser fingerprints. It was completely dismantled by international law enforcement in a massive sweep called Operation Cookie Monster. You see the warning signs. You know the feds are running traffic analysis algorithms, trying to de-anonymize your Tor nodes. You live in a state of sheer terror. You have a panic button wired to your desk. If you press it, an automated script will overwrite your hard drives with garbage data 35 times, destroying the encryption keys permanently. You are a multimillionaire sitting in a dark room, jumping at the sound of a car door closing outside your house. You traded your entire youth for digital wealth, and now you are a prisoner of your own success. Level 8, the takedown. You are 45. You thought you were a ghost. You thought your operational security was flawless. You separated your online persona from your real life. You never used your real name, email addresses, or credit card for anything connected to the dark web. But humans always make mistakes. Algorithms do not. It wasn't a sophisticated hack that brought you down. It was a breadcrumb from 10 years ago. You used a personal email address just once to register an account on a clear web coding forum. An AI tracking system cross-referenced that email with a cryptocurrency wallet address you used to pay for server hosting. The digital threads unraveled. You are asleep when the physical world finally, violently, breaches your digital fortress. The warning doesn't come through a computer screen. It comes as a flashbang grenade, shattering your bedroom window. Heavily armed federal tactical teams flood into your room. Lasers dance across your chest. You dive for the panic button on your desk, but a boot slams into your back, pinning you to the floor. They don't even look at you. They secure the laptops. They secure the cold storage wallets. They zip tie your hands behind your back and drag you out into the cold night air. You are placed in the back of an armored vehicle. You don't get a trial right away. You are locked in a concrete cell in a maximum security federal facility. You spend 23 hours a day staring at a blank wall. There are no screens in here. There are no keyboards. There is no Tor browser. You had the power to shut down hospitals, to extort multinational corporations, to sell the secrets of entire nations. You were a phantom who haunted the modern world. You manipulated billions of dollars of data. You thought you were a god among men. But now you do not even have the power to turn off the fluorescent light buzzing in your own cell. This is the dark web, a hidden underworld where brilliant minds trade their humanity for untraceable wealth and constant terror. You climb the ranks from a desperate kid ruining video games to a digital kingpin holding the world hostage. But you realize the ultimate truth of the internet. You can hide behind firewalls. You can encrypt your existence, and you can build an empire in the deepest shadows of the web. But the physical world always comes knocking. And when it finally kicks down your door, there is no line of code written that can save you.